Hi hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and to yet another episode of trying to get myself cancelled, because saying anything bad about BTS in the slightest usually doesn't end well in my experience. But I thought it would be really interesting to dive into each BTS member, as well as the whole group, and look at what I think are some of their strengths and weaknesses. Remember, these are all my opinions, and I don't claim any of them as facts, because they aren't anyways. Without any more rambling, let's just get right into it. Jin gets overlooked many times in terms of his vocal ability, and it truly saddens me. This man has such stable voice while performing, it almost sounds like he is lip syncing, although we know he's not. There isn't a single missed note, a single missed pitch. At least not in my professionally not trained ears. When I saw BTS live on tour, I was extremely impressed by his entire performance, and started paying more attention to his vocals. Please do so yourself as well, you won't regret it. He also has such entertaining personality, both off and on stage, that draws you in. He is sweet, polite and extremely funny. Sometimes does stupid and weird shit none of you can excuse, but we go along with it, and laugh like crazy every time. No matter how much you say his dad jokes are lame, you must admit you laughed at least a few of them. I'm not going to sugarcoat or pretend here. Jin isn't a horrible dancer. He isn't even a bad dancer. I simply think out of all of the members he made least improvements since debut, and is the member that isn't meant to be a dancer. There is nothing bad about that at all. Not everybody is crafted to be all-rounded. Dancing isn't his strong suit, and will probably never be. Despite that, I think he doesn't deserve to be left out of dance breaks, like On, or to talk down on himself. At the end of the day, he works twice as hard to learn the choreographies, and that itself deserves all the praise in the world. Taehyung's vocal range is beyond me every damn time he opens his mouth. He can literally go from an extremely raspy and deep voice into a high note like it's nothing. I would say he is a lot more comfortable and better in his lower range, but his upper one could improve with more work. I just don't think he has any interest in that, since his deep voice kinda makes him stand out in the group. I personally adore his voice in whichever range, and it just sounds like smooth butter on a bread when you're starving. It's that type of pleasure. Besides that, there is no one better at treating us fans like kings and queens than he is. I swear to God, the amount of warmth and care I felt from T at the concert was overwhelming. No wonder everybody is obsessed with him. He knows how to draw people in, and do everything to make them comfortable. Before you eat me alive, just listen. His stage presence, when he is in the center, is absolutely amazing, and I will stand by this till the very day I leave this fuckery of a planet. But sometimes, when he isn't in the center actually singing, he seems a bit dozed off, and bored at times. I know it can happen to anyone, and probably every idol does it every now and then. But if you watch Taehyung's fancams, you can notice this quite a lot. It's just something he could improve on, but it doesn't horribly bother me or anything. You're going to tell me Jungkook is the all-rounder of the group? Okay sweetie, fight me. I think there can be more than one, because no limits are written anywhere. None of you can deny Hoseok's dancing talent, we already established that. He is one of the best dancers in this entire industry, and we don't need any discussions around that. When it comes to his rapping, I think it's the exact same situation. His rapping style and execution are so different, making him one of the most unique rappers currently on the scene. As for the vocals, you could argue that he can't compete with vocal line, which is completely true. But if we consider the fact Hoseok isn't vocally trained, since this isn't his position, I think his vocals are pretty impressive, especially in harmonies with other members. To me, he is the all-rounder of BTS, but that's just my personal opinion and preference. Not to shit on his writing style or anything, because he isn't horrible by any means. He is amazing in the direction he chose to pursue, but that's simply not the direction I prefer. Many of his lyrics shy away from exploring deeper, darker topics, like Namjoon and Yoongi do in their songs. I know it's connected to his role of being the happy one and the one that brings everyone up when they are at their lowest. Hoseok too has his own negative thoughts, fear that hold him back, questions he can't answer within himself. I would love to hear about those and get a better look inside his mind. Yoongi is my bias, and you all can tell me that I'm biased towards him for that reason, but he hands down my favorite producer in BTS, as well as I relate to his lyrics the absolute most. He has some type of power to dig into the deepest parts of my heart, body and soul through his writing style especially. He never gets shy to explore darker topics, like mental illness, addictions, losing friends and many other things. He might be the bravest out of all of the members who produce and write. I think he might really be. He can also rap in so many different style, from slow and raspy, to angry and aggressive. He is one of those rappers that are way beyond the pop standard. He is so damn good he could stand next to some of the biggest rappers in the world and they would be embarrassed. That's just my opinion, but he has so many strengths, it's impossible for me to list them all here. Despite being so talented and everybody praising him for it, from fans to professional critics, Yoongi is still one of the most self-critical artists I've ever seen, which also leads into him being a complete workaholic. I know baby armies like to make fun of him sleeping everywhere possible at any free time, but none of us can actually imagine how much work goes into a single song. From production, to composition and lyrics. Especially if you're like Yoongi, who likes for everything to be as perfect as possible. Not that I blame him for it, it's great he values his art so much, but I hope he is eventually able to get loose a bit. He has proven himself as one of the best producers and artists in the music industry, which means he can trust himself more. I'm scared otherwise he will burn out one day, no matter how much he loves his job. This little bitch is insane on stage. Literally out of his damn mind. When I saw them live, I felt so intimidated by him that I wanted to hide. His charisma and aura are extremely strong, whether he is in the center during a certain part or not. He just never gives you a break, so consider that before you buy your floor tickets. I wasn't ready for it at all, and 3 years later I still didn't recover. Simply a warning, because I love you guys. Also his dancing blows me away. No matter what type of choreo it is, he will put this elegance and fluidity into it that comes from his contemporary background and gives him his signature style. Literally never saw another male idol dance as gracefully as he does. Jimin's voice is in a higher range and very unique, which makes it extremely hard to work with. He needed years to find the right technique that wouldn't strain his voice, and he has just recently found it. I would say he has a lot less issues with missing notes or being unstable than he used to. But he is still one of their least stable vocalists in my personal opinion. Please, keep in mind that stability doesn't define a good singer from a bad one. Not at all. He improved a lot, and I'm sure he will even more. You all listened to Mono, right? You did. Then you know where this strength comes from exactly. The lyrics on that damn playlist are one big poetry book and I love every single line of it. He can write so beautifully both in English and Korean, which is just an added bonus here. He even talks poetry 24/7 and everything he says just sounds like honey to my ears. Okay, I'm dramatic, but you know exactly what I mean. He used to write a lot before he became a trainee, like during school days and stuff, so this makes sense. Also he is one of the best leaders out there. The amounts of pressure he has to handle with being the only English-speaking member, and BTS's representation in America, is unimaginable to me. The fact he deals with it so well deserves some type of award, because my anxiety would eat me alive if I was him. The same as I've already said with Jin, applies to Namjoon. He improved more than Jin in my opinion, but dancing still isn't one of his strongest suits. It's more something he has to do as a part of being an idol, although he isn't bad by any means. Not at all. Especially their latest few eras he's been really popping off. We have to give him credit for that. Did you see him in On? Yes, exactly. Also, if you listen to him closely, you can still notice he lacks confidence to a certain extent. Similarly to Yoongi, he is very self-critical, which isn't always bad, but he often talks down on himself for being a bad dancer, or not singing as well, or not being handsome enough in their latest dance practice video. Small things like that, but they make me really sad, because in my eyes he is indeed perfect. Everything written as his strengths is self-explanatory, so I don't need to say much. He is one of the greatest vocalists I've ever heard. He literally never misses a note, which worries me a little bit, because I don't even know if he's real at this point, and his stage charisma just makes you fall in love with him instantly. He has this warm, friendly energy, and just by looking into his eyes you know he cares. He really cares about every single one of you, and would go above and beyond to make sure we know that every passing second of every day. He is an angel that we don't deserve on this dumpster fire called Earth. Jungkook is not the best rapper, and I will continue keeping this opinion till the day I die probably. So many people want for rapper Jungkook to come back, but I personally love his singing voice a lot more, so I feel no need to get rapper Jungkook back. He isn't horrible, just undertrained, and would need to work more to get better flow and all that stuff. There is not much else I want to say here. Singer Jungkook all the way. As I've already mentioned, BTS first began to stand out from the rest of pop industry because they refused to filter themselves to only socially acceptable topics, like love songs. They very soon began to touch on politics, self-expression, mental health, confidence, and so many other struggles we all feel in life that nobody else was nothing about. Till this day they kept this in their lyrics and perfected it even more. It's what makes them grow even closer to fans' hearts and makes us more attached to their songs. With their huge variety in music genres, from pop, hip-hop, R&B, 80s retro and many more, everyone is able to find something enjoyable. They never do the same thing twice, which always keeps their comebacks exciting. It's not secret that over the years BTS became a vocally focused group, mainly because of the growing popularity outside Korea of Jimin and Jungkook, as well as at some point they ditched their rap line to the point they now only get a few lines in each of their songs, unless it's a rap line alone song. It's so unfair and such a big shame, since they have one of the strongest, if not the strongest rap line in K-pop. Also their 2020 releases were fairly boring and safe, targeted at Western audience. Nothing horribly wrong with that, but I miss them trying new things and just not being like everyone else. Hopefully they get back to that this year, or I'm going to be very sad. Anyways, this is all I have for today's video, and if you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and comment your opinions down below, because I'm really interested to see what you all think. Also subscribe for more videos like this twice a week. I will see you again very soon. Bye bye. Love you.